That's right. Before this video starts, I want to take a quick moment and just say thank you to all my fellow veterans out there. Today is Veterans Day. And so to those who have served and are currently serving, for me and my family, thank you guys for your service. I spent 6 years working on B-52 bombers in the Air Force. Some of y'all know that, some of you don't. What I would like to do is encourage you, if you know somebody who has served or is currently serving, send them a text message or give them a phone call. Just tell them thank you. You may lift someone up who needs some lifting today. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video. The Toyota Stout, well, she's about to look a little bit better. Yeah! Today on Puddins Fab Shop, we be working on our Toyota Stout again. Something about wearing this welding little cap makes me feel like a pirate, okay? So today we are working on my pirate ship. We're working on the Toyota Stout. Y'all have seen it. That's what we've been hooked up on. We are body swapping this 1967 Toyota Stout, one of 4,000 made, onto a 92 Toyota. Why? Because we can. So if we open up the door here, you can see we got the red floor. Well, you ain't even got to open the door. You can just look at the back of the cab. Pretty obvious. We got the dash and firewall. And then the last go around, we got all this cowl area on the outside enclosed. Kind of open up the door. We got all this welded in. We got our cowl piece back on. If you pop the hood and look underneath here, well, you can see that one area, and that just seals us up underneath here. Man, oh man, is she looking good. So today, I wish I could tell you we were doing something more than what we have been doing, but all we have been doing is, since we got those sat in place, we've been taking metal and we've been fabricating. We've been attaching the two trucks to actually make them one, and we're just carrying on with that into our cab now. So we actually need to take the fenders off and do some plating up there. We're gonna have to figure out how to do some enclosing in here. Obviously right down here is an issue. And don't forget the old red mullet just hanging off the back, just a dangling. Kind of been giving her the eagle eye. What do I want to do here? What do I want to do there? And I'm overthinking it. That's what I'm doing. So I think the easiest place to start is gonna be right here to there. So that's what we're gonna do, just to get a little momentum. Gotta get the ball rolling sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta get a little moving and grooving, okay? Because I could be out here overthinking it till tomorrow. Watch out, watch out. Boy, look at the bench seat on that one. Get that out of there so we don't catch her on fire. And let's pop over here and have a little look-see. All right, now we got plenty of strength in here, so this don't have to be super duper strong because this is already strong. It just needs to be sealed up. I'd like to put some factory carpet back in it, which should come over to this lip roughly. Our factory seal plate would go into these. We're not gonna be able to use those. We could trim this down, however, that's where your seal on the Toyota Stout door meets up to, so we don't want to cut that down to try to level this up. This is just going to have to be higher and kind of step down. My question here is, how wide is it between that and that? Dang, pert near perfect. I was hoping for 2 inches. She's a little wide, but we could set that piece down at an angle and let it just sit on this and touch over there. I'm trying to cheat here and use some 2-inch strap where we ain't got to cut strips. Got some 2-incher right there. Need a little scrap piece. Huh? Oh, I cut that. She's about 1 7/8 inches. Oh, 2-incher. Where are you? I've got to have a scrap piece of that somewhere. Nope. That's got to be 2 inches. Yeah, there we go. Red to match our floor. How fancy. Oh, Rupert, bring me my color match sheet metal. All right, so if we cut some 2-incher and we just laid it down in here, oh, well, that's at too much of an angle, but then we could pick up on it like so. That's gonna work. What I'm thinking is we put that down in there, and then we're gonna take sheet metal, because that'll be enclosed down there. Then we can take sheet metal and come over and break it down. Oh, not that kind of break it down. Sorry, squirrel. we could bring the sheet metal over and kind of break it down, where then we got somewhere to tuck the carpet underneath. And I may be picturing fancying it up a little bit. Let's get us a piece cut for in here. Looks like we probably want to come all the way back to about right in here. And then going forward, we probably want to bring it to somewhere right in here. I'm wanting to reuse these factory kick panels, so that's why I kind of mocked this one up. Right there. So maybe we come forward to right at the back of it, not knowing what exactly we're going to do up here yet. Actually, it looks like we could carry that all the way to the front and do a little tapering maybe. I'm going to go for 39.5. Yeah. This thing's got a little whoop-de-doo in her, huh? Oh, bounce the impact, make the metal do a somersault. Flip her around, folks. Swoop! Now we got a taper up here, so there's no point in even trying to fit that up. We'll try to make us a template here, and I just kind of eyeballed it, guys. Real precise stuff here. This ain't gonna be a perfect fit up, so don't get all too worried, I guess, because all this should end up enclosed, meaning it's going to be real hard to see it. Got a little lip on the back side we got to account for here. That's pretty good baseline. Little Tracy trace. What that guy from Full House used to say? Cut it out. Alright, see how we did here. Well, we made it disappear. Perfect. Maybe this is a two-hand job. Alright, we could probably hammer that down into place, but being an 1/8 inch, this stuff ain't being very forgiving, so I think our best bet's just to take a big chunk out of here where that can sit down a little better. I'm having to cut a lot more off this than I thought I was going to, but that's okay, guys. Just keep working her down into place. No big deal. That right there is going to do it. Let's clean up some edges. Clean up both sides of her metal. A few little welds on her down through there to kind of hold her into place. Down here we fit super tight. Down here we're gonna be okay. I'm probably just gonna have to hammer that down a bit, no big deal. So down the side, that'll seal us up. We're probably not gonna full weld that. We'll go every so often, and then we'll end up seam sealing it. Just throw us a few welds in there every couple inches. You can see out here where we're burning her in. Down here, we're sitting good over to this side, but over there, we're gonna need to do a little bit of hammering. Joe, stepped on that. Partner gave me a heart attack. Thought something was trying to get me. For this, I'm gonna use the double hammer technique. That worked beautiful. Beautiful. That sucker's nice and flat through there now. Now, she may not be the prettiest thing ever, but I was able to weld from the front all the way down that back to here. Same on the inside. Now, as long as whenever we enclose in here, we capped right here, this will be fully sealed off. You like that? Just wait. There's more. I'm like old Billy Mays. That says we need about 1 inch to be kind of level with this. I've got our scrap from last week, so if I set that there, then we kind of go there. Yeah, that'd look pretty good. So next we need a piece of 1 inch down through here. Or we may go on the back side even. Survey says 36 inches. Let's keep cheating, huh? Right here I got some 1 inch wide, 1/8 inch thick. Guys, all this is doable just with some sheet metal if you want to cut the strips, but little quick, speedy stuff like this is why I like keeping all the different widths of strap in stock. Depending on what you're building, sometimes having all this kind of stuff sure does expedite the process. Oh, I nailed it. Nailed it too good. Put a kink in her. I knew that was gonna happen. I could really feel the power flowing through me that time. Just gonna sit this in place, slide it up there to about our kick panel. That should be flush. Show is. Let's just weld her in right there. Yeah, that feels good. Feels good. Tack her up, go down through there, give her some weld. Now on our back side here, where these lips are, well, we're gonna give them a little massage, if you will. A little smackification persuasion. We'll go in there and add a little weld as well. Now towards the front, where we were hitting some weld, and towards the rear, our piece kind of curved over. But that's fine. No need to overthink it or, you know, try to massage that or fit it to just be perfect. It's gonna work, guys. It's gonna be okay. You'll never see this lip when we get done. Trim us down some 18 gauge just because it was sitting here. And we need to enclose that front and back about like so. Only thing is, there's actually a gap on the other side. Cut us a new piece that fits just a hair better. All right, weld that in. Welded us one in the rear. Now this is full kind of boxed, except for the top, obviously. And next up, we're gonna hit her with a little hucky puck. Y'all know I'm a roofer. I'm a handyman of all trades. I dabble in a little plumbing, roofing, you name it. And that's why we're gonna take our Dynaflex Ultra for window, doors, and siding. Yeah, I do that as well. That's part of my handyman services. It's supposed to set up in an hour where it's paintable. Ain't so worried about that. I just gonna put some down in here before we cap this top. A little pro tip is when all your metal's hot from all this welding we've been doing, that's when you actually want to put this on because it'll help it cure up even faster. It sure is pretty down in there. When we make it to the weld, we can kind of skip over, or can we? I'm not talented enough at this. That's what the problem is here, folks. Most handymans aren't that good at what they do, though, are they? Just playing. Maybe it's just the Pot County ones. Who knows? Handyman watching this right now, you son of a bitch! Next up, we're gonna build a top for this thing. If we went from that edge over, I'd say probably about 2 3/4 is the goal. So we'll cut us a rough piece of poster board at 2 3/4, and then we'll go over there and do a little finagling to make it work. 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and 2 3/4. Ka-chow! I cut fast. Bring this over here. We'll tape it into place. Up front, I'm gonna have to do a little finagling here because I want to work that into the front, kind of like we did our lower piece. Tape that together. Super simple up there. Just tapered it in. Now we're gonna have to go down through here because someone cut this nice and uneven, and we're gonna have to mark where this edge is, and I'm gonna mark this lip over here, the one we added, because we're probably just gonna drill some spot welds there and then fill that up or something. Ain't quite figured that part out, have I? Get my spectacles on since we're doing some precision work here. Tape our template into place, and I'm gonna mark it out. We're gonna try our best to, it kind of squiggles, okay? Not a perfect cut. We're gonna do our best to follow it with a cutoff wheel. We shouldn't. We should just cut something straight and then fine tune it with the flapper or something, but why do it the right way? Oh, baby. She fits up pretty good. Tiny, bigger gap here or there. But overall, real happy with that. So now we're going to use our front leading edge to reference off of because it's straight. The back one is not. We got a pudding edge. We've got a Mortsky edge, okay? We need a round corner. We're going to come back from this edge 3/8 of an inch. We're going to break it. And then somewhere back in here, I do believe we're going to put some dimple dies down through there. Yes, I want to create somewhere for dirt and everything else to trap. Okay, so when you open it, it's going to look sweet. And then you've got dirt on your feet. You can just, on the dimple dies, we'll load it up full of dirt. That way if it gets moisture in there, it helps it rust out even faster. From the outside edge, which we can't use to reference, we need to go over pretty much 1 inch to kind of find center of this. 1 inch would be pretty good. Here we got 2.5 inches, 1 inch over, but then we're actually gonna add 3/16 because that's about how much of a ellipse in this portion. Then here at the back, same thing, because it's 2.5 inches. Hold on. My figuring ain't adding it. Here's my new plan. I marked center right back here because this is the narrowest spot. She's nice and tight. So then I transferred that to our poster board here. So then I'm gonna measure from our straight edge over this way. And we get, well, we're right between 11/16 and 3/4. 1 and 11/16 to 3/4, I mean. Then we'll go off our straight edge over here and we'll put that, or we'll mark it off the straight edge where we can go down through here and be consistent. Connect our dots down through there. I'm not convinced this is gonna work quite yet. Sure is narrow. The biggest hole we'll be able to do is a 3/4. That's gonna mean from center we need about 9/16 of an edge this way. All that being said, I just shifted our line over about 1/8 of an inch. So we got a little more room. We're gonna start trying to plot and figure this out. From this edge, I plan on coming over 3/4 of an inch and breaking. I may have said 3/4, I meant 3/8. Grand total, we're accounting for about 3/4 of an inch from about roughly where our piece is gonna sit underneath there. So where it sits, we should be able to spot weld or something. Then we'll go 3/8 of an inch, then it'll break down 3/8 of an inch. I know I'm not doing good at explaining, but just stick with me. We'll get her there, I think. If we don't, we would always wish we would have. Oh, and this is too long for my sheet metal break. Perfect. That's what we were hoping for, actually. Now to lay this out, I'm not gonna get super picky. I just kind of looked and decided from the back, I would be okay with the first one starting 3.5 inches from the rear. So right there, I'm gonna put us a mark. Here's our 3/4 inch dimple die. By the time that flares, it's gonna be real close to 1.125 as far as the size of the material it moves. So I'm trying to figure out my layout. What I like to do is I draw me a circle where it's gonna flare, and then inside there we know we're gonna have a 3/4 inch hole, and that kind of shows you what that would look like. Now I'm just going down every 3.5 inches and marking a center. Not sure this is what we're gonna use. Right now it's just what we're gonna try. It stops us about right here. Let's go kind of see. It's gonna be a lot of holes. That's a perfect spot. We could stop right there, and then that needs to stay solid up in there. I like that. Nailed it. Go down through here, punch center. How many did we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 holes. Hey, Ma, Puddin sealed up his door thingy-majigger just to put a bunch of holes in it. Not a door thingy-majigger, dummy. It's the top of her rocker floor seal plate combo kit. Drilling 9 3/4 inch holes is about as much fun as it sounds. Our Harbor Freight Christmas tree, she goes out to a 3/4 inch. So we're gonna try that and see how it goes. A little cutting fluid on her. Get my standard issue combat welting gloves for a little finger protection. Dimple dye this. We're just gonna use the vise, guys. 18 gauge. Which ain't too bad to do. You can just do that right there. Give her a little smash. And we're on to the next. Smash! You may notice she's a little curved now. We're gonna fix that by just flipping this over. I'm gonna take that part of our dimple dye there, set it over that, and we're gonna help it flat now. Those were the 3 I done. Look how flat that is now. Looking good. Woo, guys, we may get lucky. We're hitting our pivot, little hinge there or whatever that is. Then over here, this piece is just barely sitting on that one. It's in there. Something about like that's what I was after. 35-degree angle. We just need to know that for when we do the other side. Better get your black paint out. I'm gonna dust this little black paint down in here. And as that kind of tacks up over here, I marked every 7 inches on this line. I'm hoping that's gonna hit us, help us, or that's gonna hit that lip in there, and then we're gonna spot weld that. Nope, not that one. Oops. After I did our first one, I checked it over here and I had not done so good. So I actually needed to come over on this side of the line. You can see how the first 2 there, I shifted over a hair, it still wasn't good enough. Now I've come over quite a bit. Just wanging it and danging it. We'll set her into place here, and I'm telling you right now, if it starts to look good, I'm welding it. Our dimple dye back here is starting to hit that piece underneath there, so I'm gonna have to shift it over. I think we'll still be able to make it work. Here forward looks awesome. She's looking good. Good enough for me anyhow. Down here where she's sticking up, just use your plastic mallet so it's a little softer on your metal. And I did have to cut a couple tacks down here. I got off just a hair. Other than that, she's looking pretty stinking good. Oh, toe cramp. Oh, O'Reilly's. Oh, baby. That was a toe cramp and a half. Well, I was about to weld that up, but we got a slight problem. I don't know why or what changed, but our door is not wanting to close, or even close. I closed it earlier today, not even that long ago. So hell, now adding this in warped some stuff, or I don't know if the hinges are just loose or something and the door finally dropped. I took this cover plate off. Those were all fairly loose. I mean, they weren't loose, but like I barely turned it and there was no torque on them. So I don't know if that let it sag or what's going on. The stupid door's been fine this whole time. We cut this thing down to nothing. And now that we're at this point, it wants to mess up. Just pull this panel. I'm gonna try to tweak and adjust on this thing. Hopefully we can get her figured out here. And I did not mean to move it that much. Maybe I shouldn't have used a 4-ton jack. I don't think this is gonna close. No, actually we're pretty stinking close right there, aren't we? No, we're closer. I think the whole door now just needs to go over that away. Even closer. Well, she's closing again. Still not sure how that got off exactly. Our body line right here is off a hair. Of course, this fender needs to be picked it up before the bottom's mounted. This thing's a mess and a half, ain't it? I think it'd be easier to get the door properly aligned with one extra set of hands. I'm trying to hold stuff, tighten it back and forth. For now, we're going to run with it because I'm pretty sure that door can be adjusted out more. And maybe one day when I got Slick here, I can have him give me a hand. We ain't trying to do everything. For now, we're going to roll on. I would weld 500 miles and I would weld 500 more. So that's good enough for the folks who are gonna ride in it. Got a little bit of our good primer left. Uh-oh, watch out. He got out the good primer. Gotta have the good primer. She's a dang old show truck. Honestly, this is not the time to be doing our paint match this. We clearly still have more welding and enclosing to do, but I just kind of want to see it. Just getting that little primer on there already looks good. Someone did a pretty good job there, I think. Somebody. Good news is I did a good job. Bad news is I did not plan on doing nothing that elaborate, and here we are. It is now 2:20 in the day, and we only have one side done, and there's still a whole nother side to do. Luckily, the good primer dries good. It ain't 100%, but we're gonna go ahead and start dusting on some brown here. By dusting on some brown, I mean I'm just gonna coat it with some. And that don't look bad on there. You may splash on a little black. Darken that up a little. Down in this corner where some of this rust is, I'm gonna pop some orange. And go back over the orange with a little bit of that darker brown. Knock the intensity off of it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the old pray and spray. And I'm gonna take our little paintbrush here and around some of these holes on some of these edges. I'm gonna pop where we get a little texture, a little bit of texture out of some of this. That's to create some highs and lows, so then when we go over it with our white paint, we can go back and scuff on it, and then hopefully some of that color starts to come through, kind of like what I did right up there. And just like I told you on the windshield, if we ain't happy with this when I get done with it, we can tune it in more later. Right now, I just want to see what it looks like in a little bit of white. We want this nice and mixed up. We want that ultra coverage. Wow, that is loud. Around here, we don't believe in letting stuff actually dry. Oh yeah, that's way too white for down in here. We probably are gonna have to get a different color to really get this happy. I don't know. The more that sprays, that's kind of almost turned tan. I'm gonna just leave her like that for now. I think in a little bit we'll kind of scuff it up and it'll make it look better. Can't leave crap alone. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of that darker brown. Like in this corner, I want it darker. So I'm gonna dab that down in there where it makes it dark. Then we want a little bit of orange in it to rust it up some. So then I'm gonna mix a little orange and the brown, and we're just kind of paintbrush dabbing like so. And then we can go down through there, and area like that, we can kind of carry it. You can see we had some right in there. A few dabs right there will help that blend. See? Looks like this. I did a little right in there. This right here would have came up a little bit. Maybe a little right in there. It's looking pretty good. What are you doing, Tim the Tool Man Theo? Oh.
Got the flannel gang.
Oh yeah, gang, baby. He's been leaning on me, guys. I've been out here working already. Theo keeps shoving me into the truck because he's trying to cuddle me. I just had to get our side over there caught up, and in fact, I kind of hopped forward some. But do not fear, I will show you what we did over here. What do you think, Slicky?
Looks good. I like it. Looks factory.
Looks factory, coming from Slick. Everyone was dimple dyeing their rockers back in the day.
Some of them did. Hey, look at that frame crossover. There's holes in that. It's not dimple dyed, but it's got holes in it. Kind of the same type deal.
Yeah. She's matching what we got going on underneath the hood. Just kind of fun. That paint did flatten out some as it dried up, which is good. So I took our Scotch-Brite and kind of scuffed on it. That's why we want to use multiple layers and that brush to create texture, because then as you scuff on it, some of that just kind of shows through. Some of those welds right there where we burnt the paint, don't be scared to show that off. That's texture, baby. Yeah, how's she gonna blend, huh?
Looks good.
Mm-hmm. Throw Scotch-Brite at it. She's done. Don't you be giving away too many of my pets over there, Theo. Inside, I decided we would just slap a little piece of sheet metal there. It does have to be notched a little where our kick panel can go on, no big deal. And I will tell you guys, figuring out that template sucked. It was no fun. I think this same one may work for us over there. Could you just feel the sheet metal work in the air and you're like, oh.
Smell it.
Yeah. Terrible sheet metal work. Better investigate. Better slap our kick panel on. Make sure we're going to clear it. We're going to have to notch our kick panel. Tell them what you thought that was.
I thought that was a piece of bread in there.
He thought it was toast. Old piece of Wonder Bread been rotting in here.
Yeah.
That's been in here since your grandpa owned it.
Probably.
Guys, that's our cover for down here to get access to your hinges. He's like, "Where you got toast?" I said, "What are you talking about?" Maybe instead of naming this thing Betsy with the rest spots, we should name it Wonder Bread. Chomp, chomp, chomp. You trying to do some sheet metal work too?
Dang, look at them vans. Golly.
Woo! You gonna get them dirty? It's muddy outside.
These are my most comfy shoes though.
Yeah, you need to get these Skechers with the memory cord gel fit, whatever it is. Extra wide. Talk about foot relief.
I'll get a pair if they have them in white.
Oh, they probably got them in white. If not, I got some white right over here. You'll be packing orders with a smile. Nathan's been on camera a little bit, but I'm trying to get him warmed up because he wants to lower his car. So if we're gonna do that on the second channel, I gotta get him warmed up to the bull crap. Nathan's actually funny. He has a sense of humor. He just don't show it to the camera. Shy guy. All right, we're gonna have to just trim a little bit. We could probably calculate in a way to really make this look good. Or we could just kind of roughly mark it like that and take our 10 snaps that do not, what do you call that? Not disintegrate. Discriminate. They will disintegrate something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Plastic, metal, probably a piece of tile if you're desperate enough. Yep, just like I said, we probably should have planned that better because now we got a goofy notch there. Don't worry, it'll probably match that side. It'll be okay. With that there, we want to check this here. They say close but no cigar. She is close, but if I pick that up so that's flat, then where I notch on that side, I guess our kick panel isn't as tall over here. But then if I pull that down to where that's towards the top, everything else seems to be matching okay. We're just gonna cut a little bit off the bottom of this and then we'll try to make her work. About that much. Real precise stuff. Is that how you check your templates?
It works. You're above my pay grade right now. I don't do this kind of stuff. So.
You don't body swap stupid Toyotas?
No,
I just rebuild 32s. That's it.
I mean, I
build 32s for nothing. I don't mess with stuff like this. Nothing this tough.
It's not used to it.
Well, the good thing here is when it don't actually match up, you can just hammer it over till it kind of does, and you weld it.
There you go.
For over here, I went with this sheet metal because it comes pre-patinaed. You got to pay extra for that. And it seems goofy, but this whole build's goofy, so don't be surprised. The edge of that sheet metal, we're going to sit right here where all these edges are, and we're actually going to spot weld to that. Pliers. Yeah. Oh yeah, give her a little squeezy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Make sure your little kick panel's where you like it. And then this is supposed to sit in here at an angle. Oh, I think about had it. Yeah, something like that. We can weld it up top, put some welds along here, and then it just kind of, we'll pull that bottom out some when we actually go to weld it in, but we just want those edges kind of matching where that kick panel can still go on there. And do not forget, the goal of what we're doing is to enclose this cab, okay? So now that we got our filler piece figured out, let's go put some holes in it.
Makes complete sense.
It'll look good. Everyone's like, how are you gonna get fresh air? You enclose the cow. I'm always thinking ahead.
Holes.
Speed holes, baby.
Right behind the front tire so it just smokes you with rocks.
Guys, we're gonna have to pull that front clip and actually enclose the cab back there, so it will get sealed up. This is more the interior portion, so we want it to look cool. I don't know if this is gonna look cool, but we're gonna put them there anyhow. All right, just gonna kind of match this side. On that side, I just eyeballed it, so I wasn't sure how far from the bottom we started. About 1 9/16 inches. And then from it, we're gonna go 3.5 inches. And 3.5 inches. These will then be spaced the same as our little dimple die whoop-de-doo over there. And aesthetically, your eyeball will enjoy seeing them spaced the same amount, especially since they're the same size holes. I learned all that in dimple die class in high school.
Y'all had that at Votech?
I'm gonna start teaching dimple die class.
Dimple die class.
Come on, get in here. About to be late. What y'all want to learn today? How to space them? Unfortunately, guys, a lot of the sheet metal work, as you know, is just a lot of the same old stuff. So what we've done on that, we're going to do on this. Oh, look at this tool someone sent me. I've always wanted these. Wanted one of these. I've never ordered one. I don't never remember. It's one of those things where you can...
Oh, deburring?
Yeah, deburr. Probably shouldn't use it for that where it's plumb buck nasty. But on this side, that's going to be the side showing. Ooh, baby. That'll make her look good.
Make them dies slide.
Never mind. That's the side that'll show.
Fantastic.
What kind of dimple die class am I in?
Good thing you get paid by the hour.
How come he never uses that press he has? He always does stuff the hard way. Hard way is all I've ever known.
Professional.
Woo! Now where's my little deburr?
Oh, go to town now.
Watch out. Watch out. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee. That's just fun to do, guys. Get you one just to clean up holes, even if you don't need it. So if you don't have a good time. It's got a nice pivot. You got one of them?
No.
You need to get one. Oh, watch out.
Oh.
You take that old pointy 36 grit to the wrong area, you'll know it. Oh, I forgot to drill our holes to spot weld that to that.
Oh.
Rookie mistakes. Dang, Slick. Put the pressure on me.
You're checking that fit.
I need a minute to actually make it fit. You just whip that camera on. Better done a good job.
Hope he's ready.
Oh man, you know I bent that over?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have.
Oh no.
I'm still mind blown it works, okay? It is what it is. That's a pretty good fit.
That looks good.
You thought we were gonna weld it. I forgot to grind off the paint on this side now. One of these times I'm gonna be able to weld it for you.
Oh,
Actually there's a spot I can weld right there and then we can just grind it with the die grinder.
okay.
All right, guys, don't do what I do. Better just calm down before I get too wild there. About to lock it in.
El Permanente.
Yeah, she gonna work.
Yeah, looks good, man. It's clean.
Little gap up there we can probably hammer on as we go. Other than that, down through here, we're gonna weld it. Like I said, we'll end up seam sealing this and then blending it. May not even have to seam seal it, who knows. right here, I mean, you could try to break an edge and roll an edge or whatever, but guys, just a budget, quick, you know, fun shop truck build. Let's try not to overthink it or do it as we dimple dye our filler pieces.
Yeah, as we overthink it.
Shut up, Slick. See them Spider-Man-like reflexes? Okay. No light drops around me. Not with old Quick Hand McGee here.
Didn't you drop the dies earlier?
Yeah, but the camera wasn't rolling.
Oh, didn't happen.
All right. I know it's a little wild looking, but she's welded in. You gotta think though, guys, when your butt's sitting in here and that door's closed, you're not even gonna be able to see down in here. If someone wanted to come up and look in here, they can't really see none of that neither. About what you're gonna be able to see is the dimple dye area. Up here where it tapers and gets tighter, and it all just kind of disappears. Oh, Slicky took me for a lunch date. Now we're gonna grab some chicken real quick. And now he's out of here. And we're gonna keep rolling on with our sheet metaling. Guys, it's the same old crap. You figure out a template, you cut it out of metal, you weld it in place. Tack it, give her a tappy tap. When you're happy with it, weld it. With her all welded in, we're gonna add some strap right here. Let's go about 5 11/16. This will be 1/8 inch thick and 2 inch wide. I'm glad old Slick came by earlier, guys. Yesterday, I was kinda not on point. Maybe you could tell. We'd been out of town and that gets stressful sometimes. Just trying to get everything going and flowing, and then we came back in town, had a flat tire, truck was messed up, tornadoes, you know, just good, non-stressful day there. Today, I'm in much better of a mood, and seeing my buddy old pal Slick put me in an even better mood. We haven't seen each other in a minute. Go! Don't do that. Gosh, darn it. Your grinder's still spinning. Maybe not sit that on your cord. Oh, at least that's just the extension cord. We can replace that. Not that that makes it any better. I'm excited, guys. During lunch, the gentleman who's been doing my wheels for me, he told me they should be ready soon. I'm trying some gloss black powder coat. That's new to me. And it's the wheels for this. And I think the wheels and tires and the stance of this being changed is really going to change the truck. It's going to open up some minds to it. I'm going to get her looking good. And it won't be sheet metal work, which even I'm starting to get tired of. All right, we're going to set that there, weld it in. Let's going to tie this all together. Beep, 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 ba, boop, ba, boop, ba. Good thing is that piece is sitting right underneath this where we enclosed it. There's metal on top of metal on top of metal is what I'm trying to say, but should just equal some strength for us. With that locked in, we're going to build a mount for the center. I measured it. We need 5 inches. Well, this right here was a piece of our base trim, what I put around the bottom of the shop. And it is 5 inches wide, so it's what we need. And up top, we're going to go 5 inches long. We're going to mark center at 2 inches. 2.5. 2.5 is half of 5, not 2. That's basic science. Everybody knows that. Okay, I've done something wrong. What are we doing here? 2 1/4 is what I just marked. Let's actually mark it at 2.5. We're gonna let this be the 5 inch side. Down on the cab, we need about 4 inches wide. So from our center line, we need to go over 2 inches and 2 inches. Then we're gonna put a little bit of a radius on it. And to do that, I just found this piece of scrap on the ground. We're just gonna copy that edge. She's a little wonky, but I'll clean that up as we go. Probably need to get the old silicone off there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With some support on the inside of the cab, it's time to move to the back side. Now, I think right here, some of y'all's really been overthinking this. You're like, oh, I can't wait to see what kind of trickery and deceit you come up with to make this work. Guys, it's pretty simple. Long story short, we're not doing a lot here. But Puddin', the back of that red cab's hanging out. I know it is. That's also where our cab mount is. Like right up underneath here. So if we wanted to make that perfectly flush across there, we'd have to unbolt the cab, rebuild mounts, all kinds of stuff. Or we can do what I'm doing right now, which is slowly trimming this down so as we shove it forward, it meets up to the bottom of our red cab. Yeah, I know, not very advanced or high end. Here's the thing though, once you full weld it, we're gonna paint this white, we'll paint that black where it kind of disappears. I'll show you how we build this sheet metal piece here, nothing too fancy. And hear me out, whenever we put this bed on there, and we close up our bed gap to about 3/4 of an inch, and that little area is down in here and it's painted black, you ain't gonna see the damn thing anyways. It ain't even worth trying to rework the whole back of that for something you'll never see. Now, if you're headed to SEMA with a high-end build, or you owned a custom restoration shop and someone wanted a high-end build, would we be doing work like this? Probably not. But do not forget, it's not what we're doing. We're just having fun. We're basically giving this truck like the cab, we're giving it a little mullet, just a little extra on the back. Also, don't do what I do. Do not shoot sparks onto your fuel tank. Be smarter than me. It's magic, folks. What do I always say? It's a good sign when your template will work on both sides. We're gonna have to probably tune her just a hair, but that looks pretty stinking close to me. Cut one out. Going up, aiming for 90. Nailed it. Just playing. Here more. Nailed it. After cutting her out, a little grinding and welding, and she's in. Guys, it fit up beautifully. Pretty much no modification over here. Tiniest a gap over here, no big deal. Spot weld, spot weld, spot weld on the bottom. We were missing a corner here. I don't know where the hell it went, just wasn't there. There's a corner of the cab on this side. I don't think I cut it. I think it could have just came like that. I don't know. Oh, corner of the cab, where the hell are you? Don't worry about that corner of the cab. I whipped one up, welded her in. Now we just got to smash that middle piece in. Probably gonna have to trim, smash, slight relief. Just a little bit of modification in the situation. Rare occasion here, actually see me using some tin snips. Kind of hammer that away, and we'll trim her. This might be the wildest damn thing I've ever done in my life. So I'm the Oklahoma wild man. We're gonna have to trim more off that. She's ugly, she's wild, we'll take it. Just weld up them gaps. Here's what I should have done on that side, now that I know what I want to do. I spray that weld seam, just right there close. Let that barely blend onto the cab. See over there, I sprayed way too much. We'll let that dry up good, and then we'll back mask the cab some and paint the little mullet hanging out the back black. That'll have her blending and hitting good. This is kind of a cool moment. We get to cut out our braces that we originally put in here when we first squared up the cab. She's out. Next, since we're in here with spinny, flappy, cutty, and tacky things, we'll swap over to this. We're gonna grind down our welds, kind of clean it up. You see this rough edge? I'm gonna kiss it too. Like old Slick said earlier, now I might have a place to mount me some 6x9s, huh? Have I mentioned how much I like strap? My original plan was to mark us a straight edge and try to cut that, but then it's still gonna be a little sharp. I think a better plan is just to lay us a piece of strap over like that and weld it on. It's gonna add more strength and it'll make that edge where it's not sharp. And it'll still give us some room to tuck some microfibers, maybe a little bit tire shine, so when we take this thing to get the Riddler Award, we'll be able to at least clean the wheels and tires. I just killed our 6x9 space. It'll be okay. All right, there she be. She may not look the best. She don't look terrible. She just don't look extra like our dimple dies. However, you put a seat in this thing, obviously you'll never see that. Back there, we just wanted strong and fast. That's what we got. Watch out, got the electric shears out. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm trying to speed through this sheet metal because I'm about as tired as doing it as y'all probably are of watching it. And if I've proven anything doing a body swap, it's that you better be ready for some sheet metal work. Yeah. We're closing in the bottom of the cab, real simple stuff here. I've already done the front half because this is too long for my sheet metal brake, and I realize I just bent that the wrong way, so I get to make this piece again. That's what I was hoping to do this morning. So once we do that again, we can slip that up in there. That way I can trace along right here. We'll fine tune her, she'll be ready to weld in. Trim her down. Weld her in. Grind her down. She ain't gotta be perfect. You see a little bit of my weld there. Oh, that's pretty straightforward, right? Right. What do you do when you get up here to the front where you'd welded in that bracket first and now you got that gap and blah, blah, blah? Well, I know that looks real complicated, but let me show you. We want to go along right in there, along the piece, and give ourselves a relief cut. Yeah, there you go. And someone put a lift right in the way, but then we just got to smack on that. Smack, 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 smack. With a little hammerfication persuasion, we can weld all that up. That one is a little bit of a Gaposaurus Rex, but that's thick metal, so it'll be easy to kind of hop that. That's why they call me the old gap hopper, the one welder stopper, the wire feeding popper, the patina truck dropper welding machine. I mean, I know she ain't the prettiest thing ever, but good enough for the bottom of a truck. Have a hodgepodge scrapped together unwanted stepchild anyhow. Give her the old rattle can treatment. I'm not sure if we should leave that sucker dark or if we should be doing it the kind of off-white. We're gonna go with off-white for now and we'll adjust in the future. The cab is all closed in now except for up in there. We're about to rippity zippity dip dap do, get them fenders off here. But before we do, we're actually gonna mount the bottom ones. The bottom fenders, you know, because we have multiple fenders. Got some pretty simple stuff going on here. As you can see, we got the riv nut machine out. As you could probably guess, guys, we're not doing nothing too fancy right here. We are poking a couple holes. Yep, that's a crooked hole. On this side, we're drilling right through that nice hardened weld. Perfect. Pop us a couple of those in there. She'll hold. Uh-oh, we're hitting something. There we go. Yeah. I get a couple better bolts at some point. Oh, I got the Phillips head. But that right there will do her. Woo! She's sizzling. Bring home the bacon, baby. Our cab is sealed up. That is right. See that one weld there? That's because my camera just died when I was actually welding this stuff. That's important. So I gave you one there just to get the video. That's what you got to do. Guys, just a basic piece of sheet metal right in there ties all that together. There's a little gap like right there underneath there that I'm just going to swoop a little bit of seam sealer in. she's gonna be good to go. Finally, the sheet metal work of closing in the cab and the cowl and all that stuff is due and it is done, kinda. What I mean by kinda is there's a little fine tuning to do. Like this lip that used to hang out a lot, well, I pretty well smacked her flat, as you can see. I'd prefer not to see a red lip hanging out my fender well. So we'll smack it flat, then we'll give her the old Craigslist treatment here, where we just practically rebuild the whole bottom side of the truck real quick. And I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna run that seam sealer on a couple areas down in the corners where I said we needed it. And I may tune on the paint some, guys. But like I said, she's pretty well kind of wrapped up-ish. What do you think, Theo? What do you mean I wasted my time? The whole reason I did this one is so we can ride together. Woo! All right, guys. I kind of shifted gears this week, and we're shifting gears in the video right now. And what I mean by that is, like I said, I could kind of tell some of y'all are tired of sheet metal. I don't even like doing sheet metal, so why did I pick a project that's mostly sheet metal? I don't know, other than I've just always wanted to try one of these body swaps. So that being said, y'all seen how I enclosed it in yesterday. I ended up putting a little seam sealer. I don't even remember if I showed that. Did a little there, maybe a little like right in there or something. And we just painted that crap all black. And look at that now. Tell me that don't look good, huh? Day before yesterday, I actually taped that off. We painted it black. Like I said, we slapped the bed on there and that's gonna disappear. Don't worry about that. It's like it's not even there. Actually, just looking through the camera, that don't stick out bad at all. Could you imagine if we painted all that stuff black? That would really disappear. And then I ain't got in here and scuffed yet, but I did actually seam seal this stuff to make it look a little more complete, make it look like it's all kind of tied into this body. Seam sealed back in here a little bit. Even had some seam sealer left over, so I seam sealed all that. Dusted it with the paint again. All this is looking good, ain't it? And whatever welding we did up there, fix that door, because now it's closing better than ever. It's funny how all that welding heat, the heat will move metal and this and that, and you wouldn't think it can move it that much, but somehow it does it. Anyhow, guys, right there, sheet metal on the cab is wrapped up. Now, all that being said, in the future, when we fix the AC on this thing, I'll probably build this little sheet metal shroud up here. That'll be a little project. I need to order us some carpet. I got the dash pieces to fix this. Whenever we fix the dash, I'll build a little sheet metal trim in here. No big deal. That's some little stuff we'll do as we go. No more videos of just sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal. What we're gonna do right now, me and old Pumpkin Man, we're gonna load in the van and we're actually gonna go pick up our wheels and tires, which I'm excited about. If we get the altitude adjustment going on this thing, we get the proper wheels and tires, it's really gonna change the truck. Y'all's gonna start to see what I've been seeing this whole time. Kind of like now with the sheet metal you can see. Y'all thought that stuff looked crazy. Hell, that don't look crazy now, does it? Crazy truck for a crazy guy. Come on, Pumpkin Man, come on. Come on, you wanna go for a ride? Woo, that got him. Hey-o. Oh yeah, him loves a good ride. Theo, it's been raining again. We get to play in the mud, my friend. Well, here we are at the Fast Roy's. Check these bad girls out. Gloss black powder coat. We ain't never done powder coat before. That's fancy. So Roy here is who always took care of me at Hibdon's when I was always going over there. He's doing his own thing now. As you can tell, he definitely has good taste around here. He's doing powder coating here in Pot County, which we've needed someone to do some powder coating. These things are sharp, guys. These are about to make the truck. Someone could have got a little bit fatter tire. They went with them old skinnies, huh? That's me. I'm somebody. Hell, I didn't know I don't buy 17s. This is all new to me. Look like we got 4 spares from something. Woo, run out here in the rain, my favorite. Just so y'all know, Fast Roy's, he's taken care of me for a long time. Now he's trying to do his own thing, so I'll definitely be here supporting him. Also, who don't appreciate a good short wide that slammed down? Got her in the cop theme paint job, huh? Gotta have steelies and caps. Those look good. Is this a brand new bed? No, it is not. It looks good though. That thing looking real good. Hey, just smile and wave. I don't know who that is. I'm sure I do, I just can't see that far. He's smart in Pot County. He locked her. They said she's a straight six truck, I do believe, squatted down. I think he said he has around 8,500 on her or something like that. So if you're interested in that, you can holler at him. I don't know about the dually. Oh yeah, dually's got a for sale sign on her too. How much you put on the dually?
11 grand.
11 grand on the dually. She's slammed down, got some fancy wheels and tires. And if you need some information, get a hold of Fast Roy right here in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. Just noticed he had a long bed four-wheel drive right there. Oh, Fast Roy may like them square bodies, huh? Now, I've showed y'all before how I weld nuts on there where our caps can click on. And I done these one day when I had my bad eye. And looky there, guys, those are 70s, probably late 70s, mid 70s, I don't know, Hilux cap. Those right there is gonna look way better than those right there. However, it does us no good to sit on the perfect wheel and tire if the truck's still gonna sit like Gravedigger. So, before we even test fit those guys, y'all see me before, we put on a 2-inch drop spindle, a 3-inch drop block, and that lowered us down, but not as low as I wanted. I hoped when we did the cab swap we could channel it down more, but if we channeled it any more, we'd been cutting the bottom off the windshield. There just wasn't enough room left. So we're gonna try some DJM control arms. I use some of these on my Travelall, and they've been good to me there. They make this control arm that should bolt into place, I think, and this offers 3 more inches of drop. So we'll have 2 inches of drop out of our spindles that just raise the pivot point. Then we'll have 3 inches in the control arms. We'll then have 5 inches of drop, which should be about perfect. And here's the and, we're not adjusting our torsion bars because all the drop's in the arm and the spindle, so she should still ride pretty stinking good, which is a goal here. All we gotta do is read our instructions here. Start on driver's side. Why does that matter? I'm a rebel. We're gonna start on passenger side. Step 1, we're supposed to measure our bolts. Oh, well, that's gonna be hard to do since it's up in there. All right, there's the back of our bolt. Basically, I think we're trying to measure from the top of the jam nut to the top of that bolt, because when we take this all apart, then we'll know where to put her back to. Sitting about 3 and 3/32. Simply wipe some of your oil and dirt off your cross member, and then we can write that right there. It'll fade in, and we won't be able to read it. Perfect. Next, it tells you to mark this to your torsion bar. Well, as you can see, I sprayed mine in some looby-dooby, so marker probably ain't gonna go so well right now. However, there is a notch right there in that little receiver thingy. So I'm gonna take our little puncher and punch that, and now we know to line those up and we'll be good. Trying to clean our threads some, they're pretty dirty. Slick her up. What size is that? Big. That's a big one. Got jam nut, 22 millimeter. Of course, it's spinning both. Perfect. You dig into China or what, huh? Well, your torsion bar dropped. Up here, you can see we can wiggle that out of there. However, I don't know why we would have to, because this, I think we just unbolt those. We can take that whole thing off. Then you don't lose your index. Not that it really matters. Couple 14 millimeter bolts will do you there. There we go. Now the whole thing comes off. Yeah! 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 What else we got attached here? Well, we got a strut rod thingy of sorts. It may go through ball joints, I don't know. We got these bolts, we got a sway bar end link, we got a shock. I say just get buck nasty and spray it all. Make it rain up in here. Hey Ma, Puddin's making it rain on them hoes. That's too big. That's too big. Not very often we have that problem. 12 millimeter on your shock bolts. 12 millimeter on your sway bar end links. Up top, simple removal of the upper shock mount will suffice. And to complete this task, we will need a better equipped battery. Woohoo, watch out. Well, that's one way to remove it. As you can tell, she's due for replacement anyhow. Get on out of here. That's for a strut rod that stabilizes this. That's a very important piece right there, guys. If not, you're just on a single bolt back here, nothing to, you know, hold your whatever. I'll just shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys know it's that one thing that does that other thing. All right, we're not gonna drop that down. We'll just be able to pull this out of the way. Now, if you have good ball joints, it says you can actually just unbolt your ball joint where you leave it attached at your spindle. I'm kind of waiting to hear because I had ordered new stuff and my upper ball joints are there, but the lowers are not. And my daughter just found a picture of me at the high school from when I was in school. So I just had to text back and say, #stud. There's a young pudding trying to look handsome for a school picture. You can tell it's me by the big eyebrows. I love working on cars. I love working on cars. I love working on cars. Here's the curved ball no one was ready for. I'm waiting to hear back about the lower ball joints. I'm like, oh, no biggie. I'll get our driver's side caught up. Driver's side is about 3 5/16, so it's actually a little tighter. And the tighter it is, the higher it's gonna sit. So I know you're thinking, well, those should be even. The only thing is, majority of this truck's life is gonna drive around with someone in the driver's seat, but not the passenger seat. So it's pretty common to have your driver's side a little tighter, so when you put a couple 100 pounds there, it actually looks leveled out with someone in it. This one's acting nice and cross-threaded though. That's perfect. I know, them threads look like they could be salvaged if we can get it off there. Woo! A minute ago, she had locked up on me. Let it cool off and hit her with some looby-dooby and she just came right off. Ooh, that baby's hot. She's feeling hot, hot, hot. I don't know, we may be able to run it. Strip down the rest of our driver's side. Yeah, that thing's not in good shape. We're gonna run it, but just right now for mock-up because I can't just run up to our hardware store and get one of them. I'll have to order us one. Speaking of we're not gonna run it, but we're gonna put it on, we're gonna mock up the back where I want it sitting. And I want it having about 3 more inches of drop. Well, luckily I just looked in the scrap cabinet and I found these. Some U-bolts that are entirely too long. Unless you plan on stacking 2 pairs of 3-inch drop blocks, then those things are probably about the perfect length. That's what we're about to do for mock-up, guys. I repeat again, for mock-up, just to get this thing sitting down, I still have not decided how we're actually gonna drop this thing in the rear 6 inches. We may 3-link it with like a wishbone setup and do some coilovers. We may just do some fabbing and run 3-inch blocks. I don't know yet. What I want to see is how stuff looks with the axle tucked up in there that high, and we can accomplish that pretty simple with this. The first thing I want to do is actually pull the shocks off. They're just going to fight us, and they need replaced anyhow. They've been on there for a minute, as you may be able to tell. Sound like Grandma's old rocking chair. Yeah, they're not doing much. Whoop! Then we want to get our bump stop. Hey yo, Spider-Man hands caught it. Gotta be faster than that if you're gonna trick me. That looks nice and rusty. We can see how much our frame's rusted. Just gotta take a shower in some of them rust flakes. Yeah, she's a little pitted, but she's all right. Our other side was not so lucky. Just a little drainage hole there. No big deal, okay? You should be able to take a pick and make the bottom of your frame disappear. Man, I ain't had a rusted out frame since my 1964 Biscay Annie. Don't worry about that. We'll address it whenever we notch it and blah, blah, blah. She'll be okay. Now, like I said, I would not recommend this. That being said, throughout high school, I drove my Blazer for a couple years with stacked blocks in the rear. This is nostalgic is what I'm saying. When I stacked blocks on it, I was in my mom's driveway on my back underneath that thing. Probably underneath a jack with no jack stands or nothing then, you know. I'm lucky to still be here. I did some shady stuff. I think someone said that I was supposed to put this down here but that hits that, so I don't think that's gonna work. So we're gonna put that back. That's got a big old hole. That has a big old hole. That's why I put it like that, because if not, you got little peg and big round hole. We'd rather insert peg into small hole, and small hole becomes big round hole. And then we're gonna take extra block. Woohoo! Like playing Legos, baby. Oh yeah. This feels so wrong, but it feels so right. How can something so bad be so good? It don't make sense, but I love it. I feel mischievous right now. My favorite's when people pull up in a K10 that's got 8-inch lift blocks with a 4-inch body lift and 44s and pinion angles tuned into screw you, please let me brake. And then they're like, hey, you can't do that. That's dangerous. Do what? Let's keep this sketch party going. Guys, we actually couldn't even drive this like this to get the blocks in on this side. I quite literally had to hammer them because our drive shaft, the slip yoke's about maxed out. I think we'll be okay just for sitting it down here on mock-up. If you drove like that and it's pushing against it, you're probably gonna tear up some stuff on your transmission. I think if we get weight on this though, it's actually gonna swing it back some. And we'll get just a little clearance where it ain't bottomed out just sitting there. Just a little bit to hold it. We don't need nothing too crazy. Listen to all them geese. Get the flock out of here. Shady mock-up complete. You like that? That's old school Pot County right there, baby. I got lucky having them U-bolts in the scrap cabinet. I remember one day I was at the parts house and they had all different sizes on sale for like a few bucks, so I just cleared them out. I bought all they had. I thought I was gonna have to go to the hardware store and get some 1/2-inch all thread, and I was gonna heat it up and bend it to just build some mock-up U-bolts for now. It's right at noon, which is when the ball joints should be in, so I'm gonna try to figure those out. We may even have to get some Taco Boy. I ain't had it in a week or two. Can you tell I look slimming? Ball joints are in. You're in charge, Theodore. Good job pulling security, Theodore. Left the van running. If someone's brave enough to open it with old Killer in here, let them. Electrician's come over the other day and I wasn't there. And he's been there. He's seen Theo 10 times. And he walked in the shop and he said, it did not take Theo long to let me know I did not belong in that shop if you were not there. Him's a good boy. I don't know, guys. I just pulled up and I heard someone romping a truck, so I stepped out and said, give it hell, and whipped on the camera. It didn't disappoint, I guess. Welcome to Taco Boy. Hey, y'all are awesome. Go in there. Theo's like, where are you, Dad? Hey, get over. Go in there, meet a gentleman who's got the sweetest safety glasses I've ever seen since mine. Meet another family who thinks they're from California, Arizona, Newcastle. They didn't know where they were from. They couldn't give me a clear answer. They're from all over the U.S. Just all the people who support me in here, all the people supporting Taco Boy, one of the best businesses around. Me and Taco Boy, I promise, we appreciate y'all. Hey, I know that food smells good, but don't you be sniffing that bag. You want to romp on it like the guy in that pick-em-up truck? Woo! I'd race that guy in the main van. I think we could take him for pink slips. With some full bellies, we can get back to work. Pull our ball joint, our lower ball joint. We're going to go one at a time. All those right arounds must have worn out old Theo. He's snoozing already. Oh boy, more rain coming in. Well, this one's gonna fight me till the end. That other side came right off there. Right there's our old. Let's get our new ready. Now, I guess there's a couple different ball joints available. For us, ours takes about a 1/2 inch bolt, and the holes here are not quite 1/2 inch, so we need to drill them out. I don't know what kind of metal this is, but the other arm and this one is apparently really hard to drill. These things are just smoking my bits. Now, this slot back here is big enough. Now, trick that people do on Toyotas, they call it free lowering. Basically, you could put your ball joint on top of here, dang it. And you can see how that raises it up. Since our control arms are already doing that, we are not gonna do that. We're probably already gonna be toying having 5 inches of drop from spindles and arms with our scrub line, with our wheel not being happy. We'll see. What's a scrub line, you ask? Well, let me get this mounted and then I'll show you. Dang, I said that and then mounted it on the wrong side. Before, after. Don't quite look like 3 inches of drop to me, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that scrub line we were talking about. Well, when you tuck enough stuff where you end up with something like this right here, where this is almost sitting flush with our tire, and now when we get a flat, this is gonna get to the ground before we get into the wheel. Then it's gonna pull you and put you into a guardrail, put you into another car, possibly kill some pedestrians up on a sidewalk, who knows. That ain't good. Another reason that can't stay like that. I'm curious if we get a little wild with ours, with this front stuff, we'll end up seeing. New control arm goes right back into place. Do not tighten your nut for it or the bolt, whatever. Make sure your strut rod's on the bottom side. And then you got to take your nut off your ball joint. And we want to kind of shove it up, get it started. Here we go. We're going to replace the upper ball joint, but we're doing these suckers one at a time. That way, one arm's always holding the spindle. Now that's thinking with your dipstick. Shove that little thing up in there. It goes into nut plate. And as we get that one started with the nut for the nut plate, right now is one of the moments where I'm really happy we got a bathroom right next door now, because I may not make it to the house on time. Too much information, I'm sorry. Bottom side happy. Let's get the top control arm happy. What's cool about these are they actually bolt in and out, so we ain't got to fight rivets or anything like that. Simply unbolt your old one and you're ready to bolt in your new one. Guys, this right here is a good example of why we went the way we did with the Stout. I know we could have adapted all kinds of stuff to the factory chassis, but since we have this 92 chassis, look at the support we got. Lowering control arms, call the parts house, have ball joints here by noon, and it all bolts on, except for when we modify the rear. That don't count, don't worry about that. Now all we gotta do is tighten down our ball joints, cotter pin them, be ready to slap those old torsion bars in. Got them bad mamma jammas cotter pinned. She needs rotors. Those aren't quite here. We need to get some sway bar end links, but other than that, everything on there's pretty good. Oh, tie rods, I plan on doing all that in the future. The idler arm, drag link, everything else I'm pretty happy with. And now we ain't got to pull our spindles apart anymore because the ball joints are good to go. Woo, we on a roll, baby. All right, a little more modification. This here needs drilled out to 7/16. A little around the world won't hurt nothing. Now on the other side, I learned something. You don't want this completely tight, but it can't be completely loose because it's got to start on our bolt in here. Kind of like that right there. It's got to be loose enough where it can kind of angle down, where we can actually slot the torsion bar in and get it started. And everything on these control arms has fit really good. But on the other side, this was the only thing that was a little off. And it looks like this side is the same way. Not a lot, just a little. Do a little milling. All right, that comes with a new bolt. So about right there is pretty good. That's still started, and it's got a little slop to it. And this is the hard part, which is getting the back end where it needs to go and be able to get this started. And unfortunately, it just ain't enough with the angle. So this piece here, it slots onto there. If you hammer it, it'll go forward. That's all I did. I took out our long bolts up there to try to get a little more slack in it. Now it's going up there. Get him, killer! Looks like the old truck guy's here with some junk. I guess Mortsky found the bed. Told him if he would pick it up, he could just bring it here. Pretty nice of Mortsky. Me and old truck guy was just having a good laugh. He's like, man, you really cleaned this place out, didn't you? Yeah, I did. Made a lot of people upset. We had to get rid of some of our good stuff. Just so we could drag in some more patina, dented up mini trucks, because that's what we need. Hey, the price is right. You know what I mean? I wish this side looked as good as the other side.
The other side's a winner.
The other side's a winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, we may just have to cut it in half and build a shop hanger in front of the shop. Yeah, other side's cherry. Just don't look at this side.
Yeah, just don't walk over here.
I may have a fender, so we can see if we can patina match that, a whole fender. That'd be hard.
It can be done.
Anything can be done. I think I was like, boy, I may want to bite that ass. I may not. Ain't decided yet. Yeah, let me think about it. Oh, big stretch. Yeah, I'm gonna bite you. Get out of the truck. It's a good looking truck right there, Theodore, ain't it? Uh-huh. She ain't no cat eye though, is she? All right. We were having a good laugh. I said, imagine me hauling off the Scout and everything else that everyone's upset about. And then I brought in another patina blue Datsun. Everyone's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm out of here. I'm gonna put it right in here. In fact, we can unload it right there and I can just stab it in there with the skid steer. Dang, do they all hold there? No tire kickers around here, huh? I need to get old Slick Fetty here to see
Hey, there you go.
how much of this can come
How
out.
much you want to bet this was a dang fork off a junkyard special? Oh, whoops.
Yeah, we'll take the truck because of that, or because it looks good. Here, we'll load it for you. Slam. Yeah,
That story before.
way too many times. Yeah, this whole side ain't even that bad. I know the bed can be fixed. It's mainly this fender.
My thing is, how'd the bed get such a different patina from the cab when it's a blue bed?
They parked it in the awning right here.
Oklahoma Pole Barn.
I like it because of that. Picture this thing slammed down, fender fixed, black stillies, white walls. Can't be mad at it. Yeah, don't poke that too hard.
I didn't put any more air in it. I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to look at it.
Well, let's get her unloaded.
Need to help. All right, Mortsky, we're on the clock. $75 an hour, hard labor. Here we go. Start the timer.
Plus the tire factor bills. We'll be rolling off there and call it good.
I think I might have just got a hernia, but no big deal. Perhaps this was part of the problem.
I can't believe we can't move it.
Let's see if I can get it there. All right, so we just got done. We want to go ahead and calculate what Mortsky owes us. 4-hour minimum, so that's 2 of us. 8 hours times 75 an hour, 600. That'll work. We'll take it in the form of Taco Boy, or cash would be fine. So thanks, Mortsky.
That was the bill just for the machine operating. Physical labor like hauling parts, that actually goes up.
And there's a weather fee too.
Well, All the junk I'm gonna store in it, you gotta haul off, that's free. Hey, you know what I just thought about? By the time old convict pays all of his towing fees, impound fees, bail money back, all that kind of stuff, lawyers, whatever, he may not be able to afford to pay us.
Probably not.
Probably just had enough money to buy that bed. Or did he?
He may have a hold on that.
He didn't have you steal that, did he?
Well, I didn't pay anybody.
Oh, shit. You're next. All right. Well, since our bolt's stripped, I had a bright idea we're going to steal one from the Toyota out in the yard. Except it's a four-wheel drive with a straight axle. And I knew that, so I don't know what I was thinking. They have leaf springs. So here's what I'm kind of trying to figure out. On this side, we had said 3 3/32. We're going to round that up to, or just round that to an 1/8, and then add a double jam nut. That jam nut's for 3/8. So basically 3.5 inches from there, down there is where we would need. And I know this don't sound like it's making sense, and it may not even work because it may not be making sense, but we're going to try it. We got the smaller bolt here that you definitely do not want to use on your suspension, but I want to get this mocked up. So if 3.5 inches would have been there, then that would be right there on that one. And then I found a tap, so, or a die, whatever. We're going to thread this down to about right there, and then this could work if we can get it started. I just want to see this thing mocked up. Put a little cutting fluid on her, and away we go. Custom dual lowering blocks in the rear, custom torsion bar bolts. You've seen it here first, folks. Got our threads cut down here. As long as we can get that tightened down where the nut's about down here, it should be fairly close. I just hope this bolt's strong enough. All right, here goes nothing. That's it. Come on over, baby. Don't tell me you don't remember that banger, Chris. That's me every time I see a little mini truck that's rusty with patina. Come on over, baby. With that tightened up, those bolts up there tightened up, the last thing we want to tighten up is this here. However, you can see I put our little jack underneath here and picked that up just until we started to get some weight off this. And then that's when you want to tighten your bushing, because when this thing sits down, then that should be tightened in a good spot. If you have all that way over here, then you tighten it. When you go sit it down, you're going to be straining your bushing, and that leads to premature bushellation. Nobody wants that. It's pretty common, though. I hear like 1 in 5 truck builders suffer from it. Huh. I guess once you blow the cap out, she don't fit no more. We don't need them anyhow. That front end wrapped up, it's the sweet time to lower this baby down and get them good looking wheels and tires on it. I've been waiting for this moment for about a few weeks now. Here we go, first one going on. Oh yeah. Say bye-bye, you trailer, tire, wheel, combo package having, looking no good grandpa truck, sporting American racing wheels with Oklahoma red dirt freaking rivets. No wonder why people can't see my vision. Be gone! Oh! Right to the dumpster where you belong. I'm gonna polish our caps out real quick. These things are dirty. I use my hand cleaning wipe. Maybe y'all can see some of the crud and hooky puck on there. Watch this. This stuff right here I seen on Instagram. CJ's Master Formula Metal Gloss. Polishes all kinds of metal. This ain't a paid endorsement. I just seen the video and was like, man, if that stuff really works that good, this would be perfect for the crap I do. Polishing turds. Now you can tell I got real professional equipment. You can buy that little polishing pad that goes in your impact. They're on Amazon, real cheap. And look what happens when you take a microfiber and just start to wipe that off. Look how shiny that sucker is. By the time you finish wiping that off there, get down in the nooks and crannies, there's still a little surface rust on her, but good luck spotting it, because that baby is shining too dang bright. Perfect for a driver. These caps I found for 65 bucks on Marketplace. good find. Hilux caps are hard to come across. The wheels are 17-inch Boyd Coddington. You can get them through like Speedway or something. I want to say they're around $800. And then tires, like $256 on eBay for all 4 shipped. So those wheels are about the most expensive thing we've put on this truck so far. Other than that, all we really have is spindles, drop blocks, and our $100 eBay header anyways. So the bar was set pretty low. Once again, we ain't spent a whole lot of money on this project. We combined 2 junk trucks, and it's really starting to come together. Before I pop those caps on there, I think we need to set this thing down, see how it's gonna set, and then I gotta get the front clip on there. The caps just get to be the cherry on top. Why don't we see if she'll sit a little lower, huh? Oh yeah, keep her going. Get down there. Hot damn, sweet mama, that is looking good. Woo, 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 woo. That make you want to start the lawnmower, baby. Start the lawnmower. It's because I'm the lawnmower, and the people who said this wasn't going to turn out cool, well, their ass is grass. Let's work real fast and get this front end on, huh? Yeah! Time! Out! I did not roll as good as I thought I was going to. Took me a little longer than I thought. All in, probably about 18 minutes. That hood hinge fought me on that side. If it wasn't for that, I would have whooped her out quicker. All right, put the front on. Let's bounce her a little bit. Bounce is easy because she ain't got no shocks. It has not dropped down as much as it should have. Either that or my bolt may be a hair too tight on this side. I can partner hop her off the ground. That ain't how you get your suspension to settle. Well, this side's matching about the same. I told you I didn't think that looked like 3 inches of drop. It's sitting good though. I bet we will settle more as we drive it. Probably not a whole lot, but I bet that gap closes up soon. I was hoping it would be about 1/4 inch in there. My calculation said it should have been, so we definitely ain't dropped as much as I was hoping. However, she still looks good. Let's push her back. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, I see you, girl. I see you. What'd you say? You want a little cap on them wheels? Is that? I think that's what she said. Ooh, you want a little cap, huh? Oh yes. Oh, yes. I want to turn around and look so bad. I want y'all to see it here first, though. So y'all can already see it, but I can't. In my head, I've been able to see it. 3, 2, 1. Woo-hoo-hoo! We nailed it. Shit the bed, Fred. We nailed it. Hell, everyone can hate it all they want now. When I get in there, pop them cup holders out the dash, and turn on my little sound system in there, and I cruise around in that thing, and it feels like a 92 Toyota, but it looks like that. Be mad at it if you want. I freaking nailed it. Hey, Ma, Puddin treated that old stout like a 2 before. He nailed it. Woo, baby. Oh, guys. 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 I don't know what else to say right now. I'm speechless. I've wanted a Toyota stout since I was 18. And I know some of y'all were having a hard time seeing it because those wheels and tires were ugly. But look at this thing right here. Holy cow. We're going to do one more thing to it before this video ends. Unfortunately, that ain't going to be able to happen till tomorrow. So I guess I'll just have to show y'all then. For now, I may just flip that old bench seat back and start drilling. Woo! Here comes the drill already.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take Look into your hands, a plan your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder, and all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
All right, guys. You like that blue sky? How about these blue jeans? Looking sharp. If you're wondering why I look so sharp, it's because I'm about to go to church, okay? I know, he looks the same. He just ain't plumb filthy. Oh, yeah, I'll break out the nice hat. She only has a couple stains. I got a cleaner pair of Skechers we'll throw on before we head out of here. Guys, we are wrapped up this go-around. As you can see from the big ricka drop right there, we got the windows tinted. That actually happened yesterday. A buddy of mine came out. I wasn't even here. He showed up and knocked her out for us. Nothing too dark, 15%. I know we could have really blacked them out, but I'm not the greatest at using these eyeballs to see stuff, so we need all the help we can get. Theodore is a fan. Theo is ready to ride in this bad girl, guys. Super happy with how everything turned out. This already blends really good. The more that paint has dried, the more it's flattened out. The more it's flattened out, the more it blends. Nothing wrong with that. As you can see, I threw the seat back in. And guys, you can see why I'm not going to be mad at this interior. We'll probably do something pretty similar up on there with a trim piece, maybe even some little dimple dies just to have a little fun. Who knows? Theo's mad at me because I got out here this morning, got straight to work. I didn't give him his required pets that he requires everything first morning. He needs a pet on at least 10 to 15 minutes or he's a little grumpy man. He's a good boy. But our sheet metal's wrapped up. I thought I was really gonna hate this, and I really do not. I cannot wait to get the bed on because that is gonna disappear. Now, speaking of getting the bed on, besides wrapping this video and finishing up the editing on this, one of the other things I got to do today is get parts ordered. I think I've locked in my mind that we are going to go ahead and link the back of this with some coilovers. What you doing in there that you're bouncing this truck, huh? Doing jumping jacks or what? And we're probably about to the point where we're going to have to take a little break from this just where I've just been so focused on getting the sheet metal done that's done. Now I kind of need to get where we're at, and where we're at really is doing that rear stuff because I'm not gonna make the bed fit and blah blah blah. I want to get the fab work done, then we make the bed fit around all that we do, where we're not having to backtrack ever. I wish the front sat lower, and here's the thing, this truck does not sit high. I think I have figured out what the problem is. It's an optical illusion, and here's what I mean. Bottom of that to there is about 8.5 inches. This one's about 7 3/4. So you're talking about a 3/4 inch difference. Here's why that truck looks so high. That's about 9.5 inches towards the top of the hood. And this one looks like it has a lot more, except it has them raised up goofy fenders with the 2 nostrils. So on a normal truck, this body line right here would be about the top of your hood. But since this has those fenders, that goes up to about 10.5 inches. Well, if you did 10.5 inches from that body line down, look where that fender would be. This is so high relevant to the rest of the fender. That's what makes that look like it ain't lowered. Because if you actually stand back, it's very confusing. One, there's a Theodore in the way. 2, you look at the cab and it's like, yeah, that thing looks pretty low. Then you look up there and it looks like it needs dropped another 3 inches. I did order new torsion bar bolts, so we'll get those on. I told y'all earlier that we could do a ball joint flip and get a little bit more drop out of, so we may do the ball joint flip and then redo our torsion bar bolts. Pot County tongue twister this morning, and we'll probably get that front dropped down at least another inch, maybe inch and a half is what we'll aim for there. I appreciate y'all. I'm on the Facebook or the Instagram or the Patreon, and I don't know about anything else. puddins.fab.shop for that good quality merchandise. We appreciate all the support there, and I will see you in the next one. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project.